money, and it all gets complicated in retirement. Tax, Social Security, estate planning, investment issues, just to name a few. What you need is the expertise and the integrity and the experience of Nelson Investment Planning Services, putting it all together so your retirement nest egg is protected. Jack Nelson and Joel Garris have been at it collectively for well over 50 years, helping folks by the thousands secure their financial futures and putting together plans to protect the nest egg in retirement so you're not just spending down one asset after another until you have nothing. Get peace of mind. Get a plan in place. It's your retirement. Make it everything it needs to be and should be. Call Nelson Investment Planning Services and ask them for a free 2-hour consultation. They will happily set it up. It is free, no obligation at all. You can't beat that. And please give them the Budman's best regards. They've been good friends for many years. Nelson Investment Planning Services, 407-629-6477, 407-629-NIPS, and Jack and Joel Sunday mornings, dollars and cents on 540 WFLA. Been a staple on our station for years. Sundays at 9, right here on 540.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of Apex Pest Control.
So a chinch bug, a weed, and a fire ant walk into a yard. They all die. Thanks to Apex Pest Control. Keep your lawn healthy. Call Apex and get $50 off annual lawn service. Expires April 24th. Restrictions apply. Visit apexpest.com.
There are some people out there who like things tough, like wrestling an angry gator into submission before it rips your face off, or building that split-level treehouse for the kids. The following message is not for them. This is all about easy, as in growing grass with Scott's Easy Seed. Easy Seed is the amazing goof-proof way to grow grass that'll thrive in tough southern conditions. Harsh sun, high traffic, just about anywhere. It'll even spread to repair thin and bare spots. That's because Easy Seed is everything you need to grow grass successfully. It's a special mix of Scott's premium grass seed, starter fertilizer, and super absorbent growing material that expands to protect the seed and keep it moist. Just spread it, wet it, and watch it grow. You give it sunshine and water, and Scott's guarantees it'll grow, especially in those tough spots. That's the Scott's advantage. So get Scott's Easy Seed today. And for you folks who like things tough, this just might change your mind. Visit ScottsEasySeed.com for $5 off your next purchase of Scott's Easy Seed.
At Saving Face Skincare and Massage, enjoy massages and facials at 40% off. Just $39 for a $65 value. An exceptional price for the extra pampering that Saving Face always includes with massage, facials, or nails. 407-883-5518 or savingface.biz. How much could you be saving on car insurance? $300, $400, $500? There's a real easy way to find out. Just go to geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is texting getting way out of hand? You know, I can't... Oh, please. Oh, that is funny. Where was I? Oh, yes, about texting. Pardon me. LOL, you are my BFF. So, like I was saying...
Switch to Geico now and you could save hundreds on your car insurance. For a free rate quote, visit geico.com to see how much you could save. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here's another question from the Geico Savings Mailbag.
David from St. Paul writes, my son's wondering if you'll come to his class so he can get extra credit on his biology test.
Extra credit?
Well, if there are any questions on that test about who can make it easy to save money by combining your RV and car insurance...
Which is an unlikely question for a biology test.
Then the answer is Geico.
True.
For all other questions about RV insurance, I like to guess answer G. EICO.
Call Geico or visit geico.com today to see how much our multi-policy discount could save you.
Did you know that eating less than 1,000 calories a day can actually make your body gain weight instead of lose it? To lose weight, you have to feed your body right. Hi, I'm Steve Bostic, president of Right Size Smoothies. When I looked around for a weight loss solution that would work for me, I couldn't find one that fed my body right. So I decided to create my own. My weight loss smoothies are so effective, so powerful, that I'm going to let anyone who calls today try them for 2 full weeks. I'll even personally guarantee that you'll see the weight fall right off. To claim your 2-week trial, call now and receive free shipping and handling. The number is 1-800-977-9533. And now I've made my smoothies even better, because I'm going to guarantee the first 100 callers a 2-week weight loss trial. I'll even include free shipping and handling, plus my revolutionary blender bottle absolutely free. But you have to call 1-800-977-9533. That's 1-800-977-9533.
As a result of foreclosures, short sales, and other debts that have been written off by banks, people are now receiving 1099s, for debt forgiveness. I'm attorney Matt Inglet with KEL. We have attorneys devoted solely to taking your phone call free of charge. We also have tax attorneys with advanced legal degrees in tax law. If you've received a 1099 from a bank, call 800-NEW-LAWS. Let us sit down with you to explain your options. KEL, you have questions, we have answers. Kaufman, Inglet, and Lind, Office Orlando.
Have you been out to Lucas Nursery yet? Easter weekend would be the absolute perfect time because once you go to Lucas Nursery the first time, you'll be a customer all the time for the rest of your life, just the way we will be. There is no place like Lucas Nursery. I mean, acre after acre of everything that grows more magnificently than I've ever seen anywhere else. Lucas Nursery, where they really know the business they're in because the Lucas family's been working the same great plot of land for 4 generations. Lucas Nursery is home to the biggest garden pottery collection in the entire Southeast, and Lucas Nursery is home to the extraordinary and unique indoor butterfly encounter. Take the kids, the grandkids, this Easter weekend, a trip out to Lucas Nursery. You will just love it. Lucas Nursery is easy to get to from anywhere. They're right off the 417 Red Bug exit, corner of Slavia and Aloma. The website is lukasnursery.com.
Starting your morning the right way. Bud Henniger Live continues now on 540 WFLA.
You want to have a fabulous vacation and not have to worry a lick about the price of gas? I'm going to tell you how to do it here in just a second, but here's Tim in Ocoee on Bud Henniger Live. You're listening to my conversation with Harris Rosen. Tim, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for putting him on. I don't think there's a more extraordinary individual or real leader in business in Central Florida than Harris Rosen.
No question. The guy is a treasure.
I mean, he's just so personally invested in it, and he has been for 40 years. Yeah. And, I mean, I don't think you could ask for somebody who's a better example of a business leader. I'm got plenty of family coming down. Gas prices are not stopping them at all. And it'd be interesting. I'd like to see Central Floridians kind of get more aware about the amount of corporate investment that's coming in and what's coming over the next 10 years in Central Florida tourism, because it's going to be a renaissance. The expansion of the Magic Kingdom, the most successful theme park on the planet, by 25% with the Fantasyland expansion.
Tim, it sounds like you're pretty close to the tourism business. What do you do?
Well, I work in construction. I was in hotels for the longest period of time, but I came to the perspective that just every portion of our economy is affected by it in Central Florida. I mean, I got out of being a hotel-type person, but then I went into construction and I started building hotels. I mean, so there's kind of no escaping it. I was lucky enough to build some of the attractions at Universal and at Disney.
Sure.
And what's coming down the pike with Legoland and the new development at the old Mercado.
Yeah, but you know what? The Municipal Planning Board, by unanimous vote, and I think probably under pressure from Disney and Universal, who didn't want the competition, just killed that huge roller coaster thrill ride park up at Festival Bay. That would have been a lot of jobs and a great construction project for you. Killed it.
Yeah, it would have, but let's also not forget that down the street at the old Mercado property, Merlin, the second largest theme park corporation in the world next to Disney, is building the big Eye in the Sky Ferris wheel. They're bringing a Madame Tussauds Wax Museum as well as a third attraction.
You know, there's good stuff going on, Tim. There's absolutely no question about it. And that takes me where I want to go with you in 1 minute. Stay tuned. It's 7:22. Real-time traffic and weather together in the heart of a Good Friday rush hour. Let's check it out.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, still in pretty good shape along I-4, just starting to get a bit heavy westbound near 436 into Maitland Boulevard, and also getting a bit busy westbound along the 408 approaching I-4, but still moving up to speed through this area. Delays westbound along Colonial Drive. The right lane is blocked with construction between Avalon Park Boulevard and the 408. Traffic is very slow through this area. Still in good shape at the time along 528, the Greenway, and the Turnpike also checking clear. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bray.
All right, we're looking at sunny at 89 today on the Easter weekend. Pretty much the same with maybe a passing shower, upper 80s and mid-60s here in Central Florida. We're just talking with Tim, talking with Harris, and now I'm talking with you. And everybody's saying, oh, I can't take that big vacation because of the gas prices. Gee, $4 a gallon, maybe $5 a gallon. You know what? You don't have to worry about that. You have a unique opportunity. You live in Mecca for all the fun things in the world to do. You know, and I'm going to sound like a shill for the tourist industry and the hotel industry here, but this just makes sense. What I'm talking about is take a staycation with your family. Lynn and I have done this. We went to the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress for a weekend. We felt we were 5,000 miles away. and we drove 15 miles. I mean, it's unbelievable when you disappear into one of these wonderful hotels, when you avail yourself of the local theme parks here, you're doing something that people drive thousands of miles and spend a gazillion dollars to do. And you can do it without having to worry about whether the price of gas is $5 or $10. It doesn't matter. Stay at home, and you contribute to the local economy, which is ultimately good for all of us. I'm not kidding. Rethink that. Think anew and stop sweating having to bag the vacation because of the gas prices. You are in vacation heaven. Stay home. Hey, I want to talk to you about smoking. I don't smoke, although Jenna will tell you that I do smolder from both ears under pressure occasionally. But I've never been a smoker, okay? Never enjoyed it, never wanted to get involved in it, which is really amazing because when I was a kid, I was smothered in smoke. My dad and his dad, my grandfather, every time they got together, they would puff on pipes or cigars. It was unbelievable. We'd go for a Sunday ride in the country because Grandpa didn't drive. He lived in Brooklyn, New York. We'd bring him out. Along with Grandma, we go for a ride in the country, and little buddy, the only child's in the back seat of the 49 Ford, and it's a cold winter's day, and my dad is smoking a cigar, and my grandfather is smoking a cigar inside a closed car, and I'm ready to lose my lunch out the window. But I never became a smoker. Maybe that's the reason I never became a smoker. But let me ask you, and I'd love to take some calls from smokers on this, when I tell you what is happening in the drive to ban smoking just about every place somebody could light up. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 25 states have passed laws banning smoking in workplaces, restaurants, and bars during the last 10 years. And if the trend continues, the entire country could have similar bans on smoking at work, in restaurants, or bars by 2020. Now, there are 10 states, including Florida, that prohibit smoking in one or two of these areas, but not all three. Florida still permits smoking in bars, and a lot of people complain about that. But I don't complain about that. You know, and the CDC cites all of the disease and death stats, and I'm not going to dispute those at all. I'm not going to defend smoking at all. But here's my idea. I think smoking should be banned in the workplace for the simple reason that you are held captive if you're not a smoker, and you cannot get away from the second-hand smoke. Ban smoking in workplaces? Absolutely. I'm in favor of that wherever it is done. But you should not ban smoking in any restaurant or any bar. Let the free market work that out. If a restaurant wants to allow smoking, and their business goes in the tank because the non-smokers won't go in there with the smokers, they will suddenly, on their own, become smoke-free environments. Let the proprietors, the private enterprise, the business owners make that decision for their own business, one business at a time. That's the way this ought to be done. I don't support these blanket government-driven bans on smoking in restaurants and bars. Do you understand what I'm saying here? 407-916-5400. Toll free 1-866-916-5400. If there's smoke in a restaurant, don't go there. If enough people don't go there, they will ban smoking to get the customers in. That's the way this should be. This is a personal choice, personal freedom issue that extends to you, the customer, and should be extended to the owner of the business. Workplace ban on smoking, absolutely, for the reason I cited. And there's another question I have, and I want your calls on this. Do you understand this? Do you agree with the Budman on this? Am I right? 407-916-5400. And I really want to call from a couple of smokers out there. Tell me, what is it like to be a smoker in this current smoking ban environment? Do you feel like an outcast? Do you feel like a criminal? Do you feel like you lose friends because you smoke? 407-916-5400 at 728.
Do you know the fastest way to learn a new language?
Memorization?
No.
We always did translation.
Try again.
Is it drills?
Nope. The world's fastest, easiest way to learn a new language is Rosetta Stone's award-winning solution. It doesn't waste your time with tedious translation, useless memorization, or boring drills. Instead, it teaches you a new language the same way you learned your first language. And right now, you can experience it for yourself because Rosetta Stone is offering a free demo CD.
Extended cancel just two.
Bud, give me a big thumbs up if you can hear me. Awesome. Stand by. We are about 50 away.
Vision Silverado today and click cfchevy.com.
Going to the bank without going to the bank. That's a step forward. With Chase Quick Deposit on your smartphone, you just snap a picture, hit send, and done. Chase Quick Deposit. Take a step forward and chase what's next.
Our best ever Central Florida Toyota Camry, $5,000 off. Our best ever $5,000 off Camry, $5,000 off. CentralFloridaToyota.com.
Fox 35 Weather is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. You are watching Good Day on...
Stand by, Bud.
Welcome back. It is a Friday. Thanks so much for waking up with us. 7:30 right now. I'm Amy Cocknell.
And I'm Heidi Hatch. The big talker this morning, the new controversy surrounding Pastor Terry Jones never seems to end here. He wants to protest this evening, and the country's largest mosque is the place he wants to do it. But now he has to face a jury to prove that he should be able to without ever paying a peace bond. Joining us now live from the 540 WFLA studios is Bud Henninger from Bud Henninger Live. Good morning.
Good morning, Heidi. And as you've been reporting, the whole Terry Jones saga gets more bizarre as his gun accidentally goes off in the parking lot after an interview. My goodness.
I know this has been so crazy, but one of the things I find intriguing, and maybe I don't quite understand the law correctly here, but it seems to me odd that they're having a jury trial of whether or not, whether you like what he has to say, that can he actually go out there and have his free speech rights.
Well, it's outrageous what they're doing. They're holding this man hostage in a courtroom, which is where constitutional rights are supposed to be protected. His are being denied. They're tying him up in a quickly arranged, hastily arranged jury trial. These things normally take months to put on, and they're going to tie him up in court all day with the hopes that he's never going to be able to meet his 5 p.m. scheduled protest. They're completely trampling on this man's constitutional rights. I'm no Terry Jones fan, but this is the Constitution here, Heidi.
What do you think about the day that he chose to do this? He claims to be a Christian pastor, and on Good Friday of all days, it doesn't exactly seem very Christ-like.
I couldn't agree with you more. 100% with you on that. Again, I'm no Terry Jones fan. I mean, he ought to be home tending to what remains of his pathetic little flock in Gainesville and preaching to them about the Prince of Peace and redemption and eternal life, not going up there and stirring the radical Islamic pot in Dearborn.
You never have to wonder what Bud's thinking on a Friday morning. Hey, let's switch gears here to the pill mill crackdowns because this is a growing problem. And really, it seems like Florida is the center of the problem right now.
It really is, and it's nice to see that our elected officials can finally agree on something. 116-1 in the Florida House in favor of this pill mill crackdown legislation. I think they'll resolve it with the Senate. I think it'll become the law. We're losing 7 people a day. People are getting hooked on these prescription drugs through these pain clinics, and it is an outrage, and it's a magnet for druggies all over the country. I'm glad we're finally getting serious about this.
All right, we're watching that one from the nation's capital. Here to our own Bud Henninger from Henninger Live on 540 WFLA. Thanks as always.
Happy Easter, Heidi.
Friday morning. Thank you. Same to you. Tonight is Good Friday.
Have a great weekend, Bud.
Prescription drugs, and they'll either utilize it themselves and become addicts, or they'll sell it as drug dealers and turn other people into addicts. Lawmakers from both parties lining up to speak out against the pill mill. The final vote was nearly unanimous at 116-1. A jury will decide today whether a Florida pastor must post a so-called peace bond ahead of a demonstration in Dearborn, Michigan. Terry Jones plans to protest out the Economic Center of America in Dearborn, even though the city has already denied him a permit to do it. The city offered 4 alternative sites. Jones rejected them. in a minute. Get these stories and more at 530WFLA.com. Coming up, more BHL. Hey, David Ross, Volkswagen Road Traffic Center. Still in pretty good shape along I-4 this morning. Getting a bit busy westbound near 436, but still moving up to speed through this area. Starting to see that volume increase westbound along the 408, approaching I-4, but no serious delays. I-28 should be clear between I-4 and Homestead. We're also moving up speed along the turnpike. And westbound along Colorado Drive is very slow between Outlaw Park Boulevard and the 408. Construction is taking up the right lane in this area. From the traffic center, I'm Courtney Bray.
Service of Allstate. Get better protection with a personal touch. Your local Allstate agent will help you get the coverage that's right for you at the best possible price. Find an agent near you at Allstate.com. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Insurance dispute? Visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. From 540 WFLA Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, high pressure holds on and the high heat will stick around for Easter weekend. Sunshine, the temperature near 90 today, 91 tomorrow, upper 80 Sunday. Weather update around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Roddick at the Weather Channel. Thanks for being the smartest audience in talk radio. BHL returns now on 540 WFLA. Smoking in the boardroom. Smoking in the boardroom.
Smoking bans continue to sweep the country. Should smoking be banned in workplaces, restaurants, and bars? I maintain yes in the workplace, but no at restaurants and bars. We're talking about it, and I also am looking for a smoker to call me. I can't even imagine what it is like to be a smoker with all the pressure that is on you now. I mean, you must feel like a total social outcast. Nobody wants to be around you. Almost criminal. 407-916-5400. That's not a smoker's cough. Hang on. That's the weather. A little Spanish moss hanging from the vocal cords. No, no, I'm not. No.
Put out your pipe. Come on.
You think I'm sneaking into the boys' room during the break?
Yep.
Oh, stop. All right, let's go to Bruce in Orlando. Welcome aboard, Bruce. How are you?
Hey, bud. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Let me finish my remarks.
I'm okay now. Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm a non-smoker, but I'm not a radical non-smoker. But
in other words, you don't want all the smokers executed.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're a non-radical non-smoker.
Right.
Okay.
But there are places that you should expect to see smokers, and like a bar or a casino or something like that. But to your comment that smoking in the workplace to a bartender or to a waitress, hey, the casino and the bar is their workplace. So I don't see how, you're in favor of it in the workplace, but for some people, that's their workplace. So
I have this base covered, Bruce.
Okay.
Because I knew somebody would call me on this. Here's the deal. A lot of smokers would love to have a smoking environment. Some restaurant owner who decides we're going to allow smoking here, that should be a magnet for a staff of smokers who would have no problem whatsoever with smoking being permitted. How's that?
Yeah, that might work.
And if you don't like it, go get a job at another restaurant. There's a gazillion of them around. All right, thank you. Every once in a while, a budman can anticipate the curveball and get a little wood on it. Here's Joan in Deltona. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Okay. Having a cigarette.
Are you really? Are you a smoker?
Yes, I am.
Yeah? How many a day?
I beg your pardon?
How many do you smoke a day?
About 20.
A pack a day?
Yeah.
A pack a day. What's it like being a smoker right now?
Well, I don't run around saying I'm proud of it or anything like that.
Do you feel ostracized? Do you feel discriminated against?
No. No, I don't get offended over this silliness. I'm not rude about smoking. I don't try to, afflict other people with my smoke. But, no, it's just, to me, it's silly. And as far as all the laws, telling business owners what they can and cannot allow in their places of business as far as smoking was ridiculous from the get-go. And right after it happened here in Florida, I noticed, like at the Deltona Inn, they fixed up an outside place. Come here now, outside dining, because they're losing business.
How do you feel about the dangers, say, to little babies from secondhand smoke?
Well, I don't know. I used to sit in the back seat of my father's 55, and when he'd flick his butts out the window and the ashes would hit me.
He flicked his butt out the window? I'm sorry. Forgive me. Never mind. I just can't imagine that scene at the 55 Chevy
and when
Full Moon Rising. Forgive me. Go ahead.
When I complained about it, I got told to shut up. And I survived. Look at me.
I couldn't complain. I was too busy throwing up. But let me ask you this. Where do you believe it is appropriate for smoking to be banned?
Well, in airplanes, because, my God.
Can't get away from it. Got it. Now, what about in a restaurant, like I said? That should be the individual proprietor's choice. And if he can maintain a viable business in a smoking environment, fine. If he can't, my guess is he'll eventually ban smoking. But he ought to have that decision to make, not the government mandating it.
Exactly. Exactly my point. There was a time a long time ago, Rush Limbaugh had a story about someplace up north where they were going to protect the children by not allowing smoking anywhere where children go. And so this coffee shop owner banned children. And then he was getting in trouble for that.
Well, Rush is an old cigar smoker, so I can imagine where he came down on that story. Joan, thank you very much, and have another one on me. There you go. No, I'm only kidding. Now, Jenna, what? She's a smoker. It's not like I'm corrupting her. She smokes, and I do not smoke.
I have no sympathy for smokers.
Why is that?
I cannot understand how this day and age, when you have so much research, so many doctors telling you not to, how you can be as ignorant to smoke and put other people's lives
Well, there are people who just want to smoke, but a lot of people, they flat say they can't get off it. They're totally hooked.
Ugh.
46,000 heart disease deaths a year, according to the CDC. 3,400 lung cancer deaths among U.S. non-smoking adults each year. Second-hand smoke. And, I mean, there's no question. The cost in health, not only for the smoker, but for the rest of us who have to pay for their health care when they're hacking away and getting emphysema and everything else. 407-916-5400 as we roll along on the Good Friday edition of Bud Hedinger Live. We are glad you're with us. Much more to come, and your phone calls, 407-916-5400. Toll free, 1-866-916-5400. Have we gone too far on restricting smoking? And if you're a smoker, what in the world is it like for you out there now? 7:42 now. BHL, real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. I'll tell you, there's never going to be any smoking in that fabulous smoking Acura RL sedan I'm test driving through my friends at Fountain Acura. Gang down at Fountain Acura, I absolutely promise you that. Oh, my goodness, what a machine this is. And at Fountain Acura, the RL and their top-of-the-line 7-passenger MDX that I've also driven, right now, incredible financing rates as low as 0.9% on brand new 2011 Acura RLs and MDXs at Fountain for well-qualified buyers like you. If you're already an Acura driver, you're an Acura lover, how would you like to upgrade to a new Acura with no money down and a similar monthly payment? They can make it happen for you at the one and only Fountain Acura. Go see my friends there, and please give them the Budman's very best regards. I hold them in high regard. South OVT, just south of the Florida Mall. Go check them out. Fountain Acura this weekend be the perfect time. Online, fountainacura.com.
insurance and saving people money. I mean, if you're interested, on 37 on our equation, and it's near you. Yeah, we could totally introduce you. They can teach you all the ins and outs of car insurance. Or just save your nifty sum of money. They're pretty good at that, too. Saving money is a lot closer than you think. Your local Geico agent can help you with all your insurance needs. Stop by or call for a free rate quote today. Your local Geico office can help you insure more than just your car. They can help you with your motorcycle, crop, renters, and other insurance products. For a free rate quote, call 407-897-7157 today. That's 407-897-7157. Or visit your local Geico office at 5005 East Columbia Drive in Orlando. This portion of 540 WFLA is brought to you by ManifestFlorida.com.
Hey, you know, the great alternative to paint awaits you at Colorcrete of Central Florida. They make this product. They call it Colorcrete right here in Orlando. Wonderful family-owned business. Jim Dawson and his family and his crews just salt of the earth, and they have a wonderful product, and they're wonderful people to deal with. I cannot recommend them highly enough. Colorcrete is the great alternative to paint. It goes on like thick paint, looks like a fresh paint job, but then it keeps right on working for you and protecting your home, your apartment building, your church, whatever building is your responsibility, because Colorcrete flat does things paint can never do. Unlike with paint, with Colorcrete, they're going to give you a 25-year guarantee on the job. 25 years. Unlike with paint, with Colorcrete, you get a protective barrier against wind-driven rain. And it'll stop peeling, chalking, and cracking and prevent mildew as well. It doesn't get any better than this. Oh, yes, forgive me, it does. Colorcrete is now reduced their already great price with this 25-year guarantee. Another 10%, and they will give you a free pressure cleaning of your driveway and sidewalks. Place is going to look great, and it's guaranteed to stay that way for 25 years. Get a free estimate. Don't paint. Colorcrete. Colorcrete, 407-851-3442. You call them, 407-851-3442. You're going to love this. Online, colorcreteusa.com.
Almost 60% of them face massive student loan debts and rely on their parents for financial help. It is on the majority rely on weekly expenses. On average, they owe at least $25,000 in loans. Debt of $50,000 is not uncommon. After graduation, they face unemployment due to the poor job market. Average tuition, room, and board now stands at $16,000 a year for public universities. For kids attending private colleges, the average is $37,000 a year. The excessive costs associated with obtaining a college education have been rising out of control for years, not only leaving graduates with massive debt, but forcing many to drop out altogether. Which provokes a question. Why haven't liberals, who believe it is the mission of government to fix every perceived wrong in society, wound down college costs, especially since they believe a college education is just as much a right as health care? I know the answer. Liberals love attacking big business for price gouging, run-for-profits, and exploiting society's little guys. But their own industry, big higher education, is exempt. You see, the left owns academia, lock, stock, and barrel. Colleges are little more than indoctrination camps where today's liberals train their future replacements. Thus, they'll pay any price, bear any burden, and let any price be paid to keep their gatekeepers happy and themselves in fine scotch. A message for real informant. I work in the IT department of my company. Early into the job, I learned that we were using unauthorized business software. I told my manager about it, but he just ignored it. It really bugged me that we were pirating software. I knew it was wrong and illegal, so I reported it confidentially to the business software line at nopiracy.org. Report business software piracy confidentially today at nopiracy.org. Call 1-888-NO-PIRACY or search BSA. You could even get a cash reward.
Joe, technician from Statelight Auto Glass.
My last customer was a busy mom with lots to do until she noticed a big crack on her windshield. She didn't want to drive with her baby in that car, so she scheduled online at Statelight.com. No one makes replacing a windshield easier. Plus, she learned how Statelight emails a photo of the technician, so she knew who was coming to her house and how soon.
Call 1-800-800-2727 or go to Statelight.com.
Coming up, a Statelight Radio at every turn.
On smoking bans and life as a smoker in this environment, Gordon in Sanford, good morning.
Good morning, Bud. How's everything with you today?
Outstanding. Happy Easter weekend to you. What are your thoughts?
Same to you, sir. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents, if I could. With your blanket proposal to ban smoking in the workplace, would that also include, any factory-type thing or a warehouse situation?
I don't know. I hadn't thought that far, Gordon. What do you think? Should it?
I don't believe so, as long as there's air blowing through and the smokers are downwind, so to speak.
What is it like being a smoker right now as more and more of these restrictions go on and there's a social stigma to it? I mean, it's almost getting like being a drunk driver, you know? I mean, you're a pariah. Isn't that the way it is if you're a smoker?
Well, except for the fact that we're constantly vilified. I think most of us go out of our way not to inflict any damage on those that don't smoke.
Do you enjoy smoking, or are you just unable to get off them?
Pretty much unable to get off them. I've quit alcohol. My caffeine level is very low, and due to an indiscretion on my part, I've spent more than a couple of days in the local Crossbar Motel. And after I was released, I went right back to smoking.
Well, I wish you well in efforts to get off it, Gordon, for your health. And because, frankly, when you get real sick, God forbid, we don't want to be picking up the tab for it. That's another issue. An Easter weekend brain buster question of the day coming up right now, and you can win prizes if you've got the right answer. 407-916-5400. Brain buster callers. 407-916-5400. Be on the phone in 1 minute. We'll play the game. 1-866-916-5400. 7:52. Checking real-time traffic and weather together. Always on the twos. And we're looking at sunny and 89 today. Similar weather over the weekend. Maybe a passing shower Saturday and Sunday, but enjoy a great Easter weekend. High 60s in Central Florida right now. On the Brain Buster, Jenna, what are we playing for? What's the prize?
Today we have a pair of tickets to Cheers for Charity. It's presented by Mustard Seed May 7th at the Sheraton downtown Orlando.
I will be emceeing the event. I know where it is.
And there will be cocktails, buffet, entertainment, and a silent and live auction of one-of-a-kind chairs designed by Orlando's most famous artists.
Now, if somebody gets a wrong answer, the buzzer goes off. That frees a line for a caller now getting a busy signal. You want to grab it right away. 407-916-5400. Here is the question. This Easter Sunday will be what? Easter is on April 24th. It's pretty late this year. Easter falls on a different day each year, as you know. It is tied to the first day of spring and the full moon that follows. What is the latest date Easter can ever occur? The latest calendar date we can ever have Easter. Line 1 on the Brain Buster. Take a guess.
April 30th.
No, too late. Thanks for trying. Make that 407-916-5400 open line. Line 2, you're on the Brain Buster.
April 26th.
No, April 26th, but you're getting close. On line 3, go ahead, line 3.
April 28th.
No, not April 28th either. 407-916-5400. Here's line 4, next up.
The 29th of April.
No, not the 29th. You're too late. Let's go to the toll-free line on the Brain Buster question.
April 24th.
No, we're circling around it here, gang. Let's nail it and win it. Line 1, you're next.
April 27th.
No, it's not the 27th. We're running out of numbers here. Line 2.
April 26th?
No, not the 26th. Line 3, what is it?
April 25th.
26th? No, we just had those 2 in a row.
April 25th.
April 25th is the answer. April 25th is the answer. Is that line 4? You're our winner. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Sue.
Sue, how about that? Did you know that, or were you just listening to all the other misses?
I knew it.
You knew it was the 25th? You know what the earliest is?
No.
You don't have to win the prize. You're already going to this great Mustard Seed charity event. It's going to be a great, great evening, and we're looking forward. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. March 22nd is the earliest. April 25th is the latest, all pegged to the first day of spring and the full moon, the date of Easter every year. Hey, Sue, thank you very much for listening and for playing our game, and from all of us on Bud Hedinger Live to you and your family, a very happy Easter.
Thank you. You too.
Now, don't go away. Stay on the line because Jeff wants to talk with you, so we make sure we make the connection and get you those tickets. Congratulations.
Another happy contest winner on WFLA.
So you know how I was contemplating asking the young folks in our family, our kids and their spouses who are all into the smartphone scene and just have their face in the smartphones all the time when they're at gatherings. I was going to ask them, would you just shut those down when you're over for Easter dinner? It seems rude to me, like you're not paying attention. And they just keep working the phones all the time. And I was debating, do I want to do that? Do I want to tick off the people I love the most on Easter Sunday or not? Even though I think it's rude. So I went to my daughter Carolyn, who really doesn't do that too much at family gatherings, and I said, should I do that? And it just seems to me it's rude. I said, Carolyn, what if I came over to your house all the time with a deck of cards and started playing solitaire and was playing solitaire the entire time, you know, and conversing with people? Wouldn't it seem rude to you? And she says, well, I don't know if you did it all the time, maybe. But she says, Dad, when they're doing this, this is just what they're not going to do it at the table. But this isn't any different than when you come over and there's some big game on that you want to see, that you want the TV set on quietly over at our house so you can drift by and watch it and keep up to date now and then. Jenna, I was totally shut down.
Winner, winner.
Tried and convicted, and I'm backing off on this thing. I'm not going to ask them to shut down the smartphones.
Good for her.
You know?
Good for her.
You know, I never really thought about it. That's it. I always want to have a sporting event on in the background, even if it's muted, so I can look at it occasionally, but I'm still part of the party, and for them it's the same way with the smartphones. I hate it when somebody makes that much sense to me and has a different point of view. It's just a killer.
I would actually say that sporting events are worse than having a cell phone on.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay.
I would find that more obnoxious, but
really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll remember that when we have you over. Wall-to-wall sports on the tube. Okay, coming up, and we're expecting him live in the studio, Central Florida Congressman Dan Webster on the congressional break. I'll be talking with him. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss this. There are a lot of important issues here, and I've got some questions for the freshman Republican Congressman, Dan Webster, next on BHL. Good morning at 7:58.
Our responsibility is to make sure that is a credible,
for 28 amendments to the election bill, but Republicans shot them all down before passing it on a party line vote, 79 to 38. A carpet sample that came from Casey Anthony's car trunk can be used in her trial, and according to Judge Belvin Perry, the defense was trying to block the use of the item in next month's murder trial against Anthony, who's charged with first-degree murder in the death of her daughter Kaylee. Reports say the carpet sample had high levels of chloroform and may help prove the girl's body was there. If you're going boating this holiday weekend, play it safe and wear a life vest. Brian Raywinkle with Fish and Wildlife Commission says not all life jackets are created equal. Some are pretty cool.
There are what are called suspender-style life jackets, inflated life jackets, that are triggered. The inflation is triggered by the water.
Given the amount of coastline and the number of lakes and waterways here in Florida, this kind of advice is the kind that can make a real difference in the numbers of injured or dead. There soon may be many new jobs in Brevard County as an expansion project begins at Port Canaveral. The port announced the expansion that will build a new terminal at the port as well as new parking garage and a cruise ship dock. The first part, the terminal, expected to create at least 250 jobs. 540 WSLA News Time 8:02. I'm Michelle Morello. Get these stories and more at 530WSLA.com. Sports is coming up. Today, Vermont's Volkswagen Neighborhood Traffic Center, much less volume than usual this morning, just a bit busy eastbound along I-4 from the 408 into Colonial Drive, but still moving along well. And westbound along the 408 is a bit heavy from the Greenway into Pleasant Rock, but no serious delays. So we got reports of delays westbound along Colonial Drive, between Avalon Park Boulevard and the 408, reports of construction blocking the right lane. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Burns.
Traffic on Air Online is service of the Rollins MBA. Rollins MBA graduates are prepared for the challenges of a competitive global economy and benefit from a world-class degree recognized by Bloomberg Business Week and Forbes as the #1 MBA in Florida. Take control of your career with a Rollins MBA. Visit mba.rollins.edu. Save on your mortgage. Go to Trusco Bank for details. Member FDIC equal housing lender. From 540 WFLA Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, high pressure holds on and the high heat will stick around through Easter weekend. Sunshine, the temperature near 90 today, 91 tomorrow, upper 80 Sunday. Weather update is around the clock on 540 WFLA. Out there with Maddox at the Weather Channel. Score! Series all tied up at 1-1. The question that Bill's asking for tonight's game is center to right hand, ready to play another 48 minutes like he did in game 2. The answer? Yes. Like I tell everybody, sleep when I die. That's what I say, bro. Go back and play 48 minutes. I play 48 minutes. The Magic hope to get their shooting eye back tonight. They've not shot well in the series so far. Tip-off at set 4, 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, Mike Inglis on the Heat Radio Network. Wade and James combined for 56 points, 25 rebounds, 14 assists in Miami's 194 comeback win over the 76ers. The Heat on the verge of a series sweep. They lead 3 games to none. The Bulls are also on the verge of a sweep. Derrick Rose hit a go-ahead layup with 17.8 seconds left to help Chicago pass Indiana 88-84. No 4-game sweep for the Tampa Bay Rays. They lost to the White Sox 9-2. That's your sports update. I'm Tom Morgan on your Gator Nation station, 540 WFLA. We serve both sides of the breakfast menu. But recommend what's on the rise. BHL continues on 540 WFLA.
8:05 exactly if you want to set your watch, and a good Friday morning to you. We're glad you're with us here on the 50,000-watt front porch. The Bud Man, Miss Jenna, and Mr. Jeff in the control room. But so far, no Congressman Dan Webster, tied up in a little bit of our notorious rush hour traffic. But we're hopeful we'll have the Congressman in here for a live chat about some absolutely compelling issues as Congress is on yet another one of its breaks, and the looming debt ceiling, etc., his controversial vote on the recent budget compromise bill to avert the government shutdown, at least controversial in my eyes, and many other issues as well. So Jenna is in touch with the Congressman, and in the meantime, Jenna, You know, folks occasionally will ask me, you know, that Jenna is amazing, and you freely say how young she is. I get it all the time. I says, this woman is 22, and people sometimes will say to me, because they don't know you, how can you have someone 22 being the executive producer of a show like this that goes over much of the Florida Peninsula and talks about the really important issues of the day? And I said, because she's not your average 22-year-old. She's very, very smart, very aware, and you studied constitutional law in college, which is really good today, because we're talking about this issue of Gainesville pastor Terry Jones suddenly finding himself in the midst of a jury trial up in Dearborn, and we've been talking about it earlier today, because he won't pay a bond because they're worried about safety concerns related to his planned protest outside the big mosque in Dearborn today, scheduled for 5 p.m. And they're tied him up with a suddenly arranged jury trial. And I think they're just trying to deny this guy his fundamental First Amendment rights to protest. You, however, have been looking at this from a law standpoint, and you have some interesting insights we did not get into earlier.
I've been looking into this, and I actually think that the court has every right to do this based on a couple of things. There was a case called Brandenburg versus Ohio, which is where we get the imminent lawless action idea, saying that people can have their right of free speech limited or revoked if there's a probability of imminent lawless action such as a riot. Now, in this case, Pastor Jones has been given two other options of places to protest, both of which would not require him to pay for police protection. Since he has chosen to turn those other places down, now we're looking at a time, place, and manner restriction, which is all tied in together. Now, basically, the city is taking him to court knowing that they're going to win, because they're basically saying, okay, here's what's going on. We have it in our city code. I'm looking at the city code of Dearborn, Michigan right now. They have time, place, and manner restrictions already in place in the code, and they also have in place in the code that if something like this happens, they have every right to charge you for police protection.
So they have it on the books, and legal precedent, of course, is powerful.
Yep. So the precedent is set in Brandenburg versus Ohio, and now they have it in their code. There's no way that Jones can beat this other than to just accept one of the other two places that
which
he can
is
protest.
a free speech zone. One of them is at City Hall. I don't know where the other one is, but neither one of them are in front of the big Mosque of America.
But they are within, I looked it up, I think they're both within two or three blocks of the mosque.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
But one of my problems is, and I think this takes us in another direction, is I believe they hastily rigged up this jury trial just to tie him up in court so he can't stage the protest. He can't be in two places at once, and I think in that respect they are trying to deny him his constitutional rights. Be interesting to see how this plays out. But you think he's going down on this, that the jury will rule against him for the reasons you've cited?
I don't think there's any way that the jury can rule for him, and I don't know if they're trying to keep him from expressing his rights because of the fact that time, place, and manner restrictions are content neutral. They're inherently content neutral. So they could not legally have this in their code unless they were making everybody pay, which it says in their code.
My guess is they had this thing lawyered to the hilt. What are we going to do about this? We're worried about violence. Is there any way that we can keep Terry Jones from being outside that mosque at 5 o'clock this afternoon? And they found a way.
They found a way, but they found a legal way.
Yeah.
Whether or not their intentions here are pure, legally they're covered. So I don't think he's going to win. And unless he accepts one of the other two protest places or pays for protection, which the protection payment, by the way, is refundable according to their city code. So
it seems to me fundamentally un-American that, I mean, Terry Jones says, I'm going up there in peace. If there's violence, it's not coming from my side. It's coming from the radical Islamic side. And I think he's probably right. It seems fundamentally un-American that you would make an American citizen fork over $100,000 to protest. I mean, what is more fundamentally First Amendment than your right to protest? And if you create a financial hoop you have to jump through that someone can't jump through, you have infringed on their First Amendment rights.
But they're not infringing on his rights because they've offered him two other places to protest that he can do freely what he wants to do. And also, not all speech is inherently protected. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater.
But you know what? It isn't Terry Jones who would initiate the violence up there. I am quite sure.
It's his words and his where he will
that's
be.
their problem in the mosque.
Right, but it's not about taking sides. It's saying, is this a storm for imminent lawless action? Yes. That's all you have to decide. Doesn't matter who it's coming from. Is his presence causing imminent lawless action? And the answer is yes.
Do you folks now understand why Jenna produces this show and why I never want to do the show without her? Terrific. Thank you. Great new dimensions on that. And as usual, you're just beautifully researched. It's terrific. Well, guess what? Congressman Dan Webster has just made his way onto the 50,000-watt front porch, and we're going to be talking with him live here next on BHL. Coming up on our traffic and weather check, and the congressman could give us his own traffic report because he was just stuck in it. So this will not be news to him at 8:12.
From 540 WFLA Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, high pressure holds on and the high heat will stick around through Easter weekend. Sunshine, the temperature near 90 today, 91 tomorrow, upper 80 Sunday. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. Updated Maddox at the Weather Channel. Good morning, I'm Michelle Miller. Coming up in around 30 minutes, nice one to know my man barricaded himself inside a local McDonald's. The death penalty was the 18-year-old that spotted the murder of a 15-year-old in Marion County quickly facing, and now the lawmakers cracking down on criminals. Traffic on Air Online, a service of Waterford Lakes Fun Fair. Join us for Waterford Lakes Fun Fair, featuring the wildest food, fun, and games as the James East Friends shows. Get unlimited rides every day for just $15. And admission and parking are free at the Waterford Lakes Fun Fair, April 15th through May, Thursday through Sunday nights only. Are your brakes squeaking or grinding? Take it from me, Jay Zembauer, the car doctor. This could be a dangerous situation. Let our team of ASE Master Certified Technicians look at your brakes. 407-831-5620 or ZembauersAutoCenter.com. At Saving Face Skincare and Massage, enjoy massages and facials at 40% off, just $39 for a $65 value. An exceptional price for the extra pampering that Saving Face always includes with massage, facials, and nails. 407-883-5518 or savingface.biz. If you run a business, you know your financial results are directly linked to the performance of your people. Hello, friends. Jim Nance here. Every team wants to operate at peak performance, and now you can with the proven workforce optimization solution from Insperity. This powerful combination of HR and business solutions is the most comprehensive